Okay, this is a video about the Hironbec Pendulum. It's a device created to try and keep sparrows out of nest boxes. And this is my box that I'm going to try to get my chickadees into. They've used this box frequently in the past. And the idea is that there's this device, it's a pendulum. It's weighted. And when a bird that's heavier than it should be lands on this, it tilts it sideways and keeps the bird from entering. And you have an adjustment right here on the inside, and depending on where you put this arrow determines the weighting of it. So the more this arrow goes to this side, the more weight it takes to push this over. So right now I have this set for a chickadee, which is 15 grams, and to exclude a bird that's 30 grams. So chickadees max out at about 15 grams. A bluebird or a sparrow, like a house sparrow, is more like 30 grams. So let me show you what I did. I have these pill boxes, and this pill box is a 15 gram pill box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this by putting that on there. So that's the equivalent of a chickadee landing on that hole. And you can see that it doesn't move it. So let me do it a little bit better here. So that's right on the edge of tilting it. So I might want to make that a little bit more. I might want to move it a little bit more to this side to make it a little bit easier for chickadees to get in. And now I'll show you the 30 gram. This is another pill box. I just filled these. You can fill these with anything. You can fill them with sand. I have some millet seed in here that I use, that I feed my other birds. And I have a scale, a digital scale, which I use to weigh these so they're the correct weights. So this is equivalent to a house sparrow or a bigger bird, 30 grams. Okay, so you can see how that pulls it to the side. Now keep in mind, when they land, they're going to land and it's going to hit like that. So I might need to do a little more adjustment on this to make it a little better. But you should be able to adjust this. There it goes. I just put this up so it needs to be adjusted a little bit, but you can fine-tune this so that it will exclude heavier birds and allow chickadees to get in. So even if this thing only partially pulls over, it's going to alarm the birds. The birds are probably not going to be able to get all the way through this hole into the nest box. So that's the Hironbec Pendulum, and I'm going to be testing it this year. The idea is that I've had some problems in the past with the chickadees nesting in the front box, and house sparrows got in. They almost killed a whole batch of fledglings. So I'm going to test this year, and I might even put this on this back box also, even though house sparrows don't usually go for this box, just to be sure that they're safe. Also, the chickadees tend to like the bigger hole, and what I've been doing in the past is putting hole reducers to reduce the size of the hole after they lay their first egg. So this is just the first video on this. I may be doing more follow-ups later. Okay, this is 30 grams. This is a larger bird, and this is a pill box. And I weighed this to 30 grams, which is about the same weight as a larger bird like a house sparrow. And you can see what happens. When a larger bird lands on the hole, if you adjust it to the correct amount, it pulls it over the side and denies entry. So there's a little pendulum thing in here, like a weight. And you can move this weight back and forth. The more that goes to this side, the more weight it requires to move the pendulum to the side. So you have to adjust this so that it will allow the smaller birds to enter, but not the heavier birds. And here's the 15 gram. This is the chickadee. So you can see that doesn't pull it over. So that means chickadees can get in and house sparrows can't. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about the installation of this device. You'll notice if you look at it, it's slightly tilted to the right, and I did that on purpose so that it would be more easily tilted. And I experimented with this, and if you would install this so that it's directly vertical, it takes a little more pressure to move it this way. By tilting it slightly to the right, you're actually giving it a little head start when something lands on it. So I think this is a little better than what they might have in the instructions. So that's my first suggestion. Now, when you get your device, you'll get a piece of paper like this, and make sure you don't lose this because this is a very good template. You use this template to drill the 3 holes that you're going to need to install it. There's a bracket, and these 2 holes are for the bracket, and then this hole on the right is the stop, which is what keeps the pendulum from going all the way to the right. And you can kind of see it here. Right here, there's a screw right here that you install, and that keeps it from going all the way that way. And actually, on this template, you know what I would do? I think what I would do is I would drill 1 hole first, and then put your metal bracket on top of that hole. Screw in that side of it, and then use the hole on the bracket to drill your other hole, because this template was slightly off. It's off by 1 millimeter or 2. So again, what I would do is drill like the right hole first, then put the bracket in with a screw, and then use the bracket hole on the other side as your guide to make the second hole. So those are the 2 installation things that I would recommend you do. And I will be doing some more information probably on this as well in the future. Okay, another update. One thing you're going to need to buy before you install this, if you want to use the included hardware, is you're going to need one of these square drive screwdrivers. This is called a Robertson screwdriver. It's a number 2 Robertson screwdriver, and it's a square drive screwdriver. And the nice thing about this is it gives you some security, because you can tighten, once you tighten your screws down and you get this all set up correctly, it would take somebody would have to have one of these special screwdrivers to take it or steal it. So make sure you get one of these square drive screwdrivers before you install your unit. Okay, I'm doing another follow-up video on the Hironbec Pendulum, which protects your birds, especially if they're small birds like chickadees or wrens that are smaller and weigh less than house sparrows, for example. So I wanted to do another quick video that shows the bracket on this device, and you can see it's very simple. It's a piece of metal, and it's got 2 screws on either side, and then it's got a screw in the middle, and this is a screw that tightens down on the bracket on the back part of the pendulum, and then this is the stop that's on the right side. So what you do is you install this, and then this screw unscrews, and it allows you to put the pendulum in here from the back, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is the back side of it. This is the part that goes into the bracket. And what I recommend is, the nice thing about this is there's a lot of adjustment with this. So what I do is I set it up, and then I tilt it so that it's slightly to the right. And you can do that simply by moving this back and forth when you get it in there. This is the lead weight. It's basically a lead donut with a hole threaded in the middle. And this moves as you turn it. It moves from side to side, and it changes the balance of the pendulum, which I already explained before. So that's basically it. It's a very ingenious device, I think. It really does seem like it's going to work, and I just wanted to show you the back side and what it looks like on the inside, so you can get a better idea of the mechanism. Also, there's a hole in the front And the reason I have this is so that once you get it installed, you can stick the screwdriver through this hole, and you can use that to tighten this screw right here, which locks it down. This screw right here. So this hole goes to that screw. So that's the next update.